most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. How you doing, brother?
Let's go. Doing great, brother. Great to see you, as always, here. Excited to be with all you here in the chat as well. Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know how you're feeling about this upcoming UFC Saudi Arabia card, brother. It's a low-key banger, as we like to say, man. Can't wait to dive in with you, brother. Let's go.
Man, this one feels like a high-key banger. And what's up to the chat, Miss Mary 616? Air horns! You already know, baby. We got him in spades here. Lethal Sugar, the boys. It wouldn't be a night with the boys if Lethal Sugar didn't show up to the party.
Better recognize. Let's go. Great to see you. What's up, Mary? As always. Bam, 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 bam. Let's go.
Man doesn't even need a soundboard. He is a soundboard, folks. You love to see it. Love to have you back. And we have quite a banger to break down in UFC Saudi Arabia. Obviously, you see I'm wearing the Fight Island shirt. It's not Fight Island. We're not here with the fakeness, all right? That's across a pond and down the road some. But I digress. I don't think that they have Riyadh shirts for the UFC quite yet. Do they, Nano? If they do, we need to cop some.
No, they do. They might need to. I was looking at that logo before we went live. I was like, I like what I'm seeing here. Might get inspired, man. We might need some new merch here coming 2025, man. Just saying. I'm taking ideas as well. Let us know how you're feeling, but I like the shirt, brother. I'm just rocking the OVO. Had to go somewhat overseas and represent, my boy up in Canada. And he is the guy that always bets on Israel Adesanya. So figured it's fitting for the night. But I'm excited, brother. This is going to be a good one. Is this starting early, I guess? I probably should double check that.
It is. It's starting at 6 o'clock a.m. 6 in the morning for the prelims and 9 o'clock a.m. on the West Coast for the main card.
No Saturday morning cartoons, y'all. You better get the Saturday morning fights going. Let's go.
Definitely don't hit the snooze on the alarm clock. And if you're a Nottingham Forest fan, you'll be waking up a little bit earlier than that, 4:30 a.m. on the West Coast. For us faithfuls, we'll be watching them get that W back, baby. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this card. And before we even jump into this card, we would be remiss, right? Because this is our only show this week. Usually we do 2 episodes, but we're only hitting you with 1 this week. It's been a busy body of a week. But I digress. We have to talk about one thing non-UFC related before we jump into this, Nano. And that is Paul Big News Hughes coming in against the Nurmagomedov brother. I mean, come on. Usman Nurmagomedov went out there and he did work, but Paul Hughes did some shocking work. Nano, tell the people what you thought about that fight.
Sheesh. Absolutely, brother. That's what I wanted to say here the whole time leading into this is, wow, absolute banger. These guys made a name for themselves, right? Obviously, Umar Nurmagomedov, we were already familiar with, or Usman, excuse me, thinking of his brother there. But man, I'll tell you what, man. He had a great performance, but I don't think we expected the freaking junkyard dog that we saw from a Paul freaking Hughes in a split decision and what PFL is calling the potential fight of the year. So far, I mean, it is early on, but I guess you can say it is fight of the year as of now. I mean, it was that gosh darn good. Again, it is January, so bear with us. But man, absolute performance. What a great card all through, right? I mean, if you were able to stay through and watch the main card and all the other fights, you got a good showing. But man, what an absolute exciting performance there. I'll tell you what, man. My one thought here, and I don't know if it's too early to make these comparisons. Maybe you could kick me off the high horse, but it felt like an early, Dustin Connor or Connor Max in the early, in their earlier mid-20s, right? Not when they were household names. Obviously, in PFL, this was their big Super Bowl, you can call it, in honors of Super Bowl coming up here, but. This felt like two guys that we saw earlier in their career that are going to continue to get better, potential future champions, guys that I think are going to probably fight again at some point, whether it's in the PFL or in the UFC in the big show that we like to call it. But I'll tell you what, man, it was absolutely great performance. Curious to hear your breakdown as well, brother. But my overall takeaway is we might have a new rivalry on our hands brewing up, but two dogs that I think need to come welcome in the UFC. Come on over. We'll welcome you. Talk to me, brother. What were your thoughts? What were your takeaways, man? Sheesh. That's all I got to say.
Sheesh is right, my friend. Yeah. Great analysis as always, Nano. And addressing the chat real quick. Sean Moody, Manual Round 2005. Anomaly. Sup, big dog? Sup to you, big dog. I hope you're having the best day ever, my friend. And thanks for being here. Dude, this fight was incredible. It had everything you wanted. It had grappling. It had striking. It had personality in spades, right? You have the Irishman who's saying, it's my time. It's my time. Like he's got that confidence. He's got that, as you like to say, that moxie, right? And then across from him, you have someone who maybe doesn't seem like they have that moxie. Instead, they just seem stoic, statuesque. Like they're not even really taking this as seriously as maybe they should. And that, of course, is Usman Nurmagomedov. And I definitely think he wasn't taking this fight as seriously as he probably should have, because what it all boiled down to was he looked like he was getting tired there in the end, right? He was starting to gas out a little bit. And Paul, big news, Hughes, he was the big news of the fight night. He was the big news of the entirety of the fight card. And of course, he afterwards, walked up and basically disassociated himself with Conor McGregor, which I think is a smart move. He said, we're not all the same. I'm not like that guy. I have respect for you. And Khabib invited him to Dagestan. And fun fact, folks, for those of you that are maybe new to the sport of mixed martial arts, let me tell you a little story. I'm like 90% sure on this. Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, the late great father, rest in peace, of Khabib Nurmagomedov, extended the same olive branch to Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor essentially shut it down and spit in his face. So, of course, Conor's pissed off that this Paul Hughes guy is saying, like, yeah, I'll come over there and train with you. I think that'd be great after I get the rematch. I think Paul Hughes is all class. I think he's big news, exactly as the name suggests. And I don't think you're being too bullish or crazy to say that this could be a fight that we see in maybe 2 to 3 years in the UFC. And I would be 1000% here for it. I would love to witness that fight in the UFC under the bright lights. But again, if it happens again under PFL Tour or whatever the hell we're calling it these days, I'm here for that too. I just want to see the fight again.
Yeah, whatever they're calling it or whatever it will be in the future. Either way, sign me up, man. The lightweight's got 2 more dogs to add to it. And yeah, brother, I mean, again, Paul Hughes proved to be an absolute savage. I mean, the striking that we saw, weather the storm. And then, I don't know, he's been kind of ducking a little bit, saying, oh, I should have trained with Khabib, and now I'll never not train with him again. It's like, okay. I mean, listen, man, just pay the man his respect. He got you, right? Whether you underestimate him or not, he got you. And he told you, you're underestimating me. He done told you.
You're looking past me. That's your mistake. You're looking
past me. That's your biggest mistake. And he almost did, to a fault, right? I mean, and that headbutt, the clash, like that was a true testament of the character, right? I mean, Paul Hughes, well, first off, I mean, Nurmagomedov's reaction to it, oh my God, what's going on? Back up against the wall. I mean, you would have thought he got shot.
Well, the positioning of where it happened, we got to talk about. The hardest part of the skull on Paul Hughes, which is where it got split open. So the hardest part is right here, which is why back in the day in bare knuckle Irish boxing, they would actually tell you that, like, if you actually headbutt the punch, you could break their fist. And then they're fooked. They're fooked, as they say in Ireland. They're fooked. They're proper fooked. Proper fooked, lad. So again, like, that's why a lot of times you'll see, like, in movies and shows, and if it's an Irish character, he'll have one of these stances and he'll headbutt a punch. And it's not just for bravado. Like, there's actual fact in that mythology. Like, it used to be a thing. So that's the part of Paul Hughes' head that connected, and it connected to the fucking temple of Usman. Bro, like that, the densest part of my head hits the softest part of yours. Yeah, you're probably going to be like, what happened? Did somebody get the license plate of that car?
They're taking a freaking sledgehammer to the dome there.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
fair.
So, I mean,
That's
like,
fair.
but there was something truly awe-inspiring seeing Usman kind of like take a knee and just, I need a minute, brother. Brother, give me 1 minute, brother. And his opponent just staring across, blood pouring down his face, looking like the good guy dolls from Chucky 1. Just, want to play? like, it's just terrifying, bro. So yeah, I mean, that was a moral victory for Paul Hughes in that moment in general. And I think the fight was a moral victory. I don't think that fight had a loser, if I'm being completely honest with you.
No, that's facts. I mean, they both gained a ton of steam after that. Paul Hughes probably more so than Nurmagomedov. I think he kind of looks a little bit more human after that, right? Not someone that's absolutely rolling through everyone, but that's how it should be, right? I mean, we don't want to see someone that's just completely outclassing everyone. We want to see some competitive matches, and that's what we got last Saturday. So PFL did good. I hope they capitalize. Hope we start paying some of their fighters. Real quick here, what up in the chat? Crossover, we see you. What's up, brother? Great to see you as always, man. Let us know how you're feeling about Saudi Arabia. Or if you want to learn more, go check them out on the YouTubes, on the Instagrams, on all socials. Got Making the Walk here as well. Come on. You know, OVO. I know Kendra's getting all this hype lately. I know he's doing the Super Bowl. But come on, baby. There's only one OVO team. That's it, man. Come on. And the Irish accent, as always.
Love seeing the boys in the chat. Love seeing the boys in the chat. What's up, Crossover and Making the Walk? Yeah, give us your thoughts on that fight. And now it is time for us to bust into this UFC fight night. Adesanya versus Imavov. And we're going to start at the very bottom, folks. We might not spend a ton of time on all of these fights, but we will go through all of these fights. So, without further ado, the first fight of the night, or of the morning, 6 a.m. in the morning, is a heavyweight bout between Hamdi Abdelwahab coming in against Jamal Pogues. I think it's going to be a Hamdi Abdelwahab show. I think he's going to come out here and probably look to get a decision win. I mean, look, he's going to look to get a finish win, but it's just probably not in the cards. Jamal Pogues is a fairly good matchup for him, but I think the Hammer is just going to walk away with this one. He is the better fighter, in my opinion. He's also the less experienced fighter, though. So a lot less tape on the guy that's 5-0 versus the guy that's 11-4. But I don't know, man. I got a sneaking suspicion the bet to make if you're going to bet on this fight is probably Hamdi to get it done, money line. I don't know even if I'd be confident to put him specifically on decision, because Lord knows he'll go out there and starch poor Jamal if I say that. So we'll go Hamdi Abdelwahab with money line here. Not putting any units on it myself, but Nano, where's your head at on this one, brother?
I like it, man. I like it. And I think as much as I like when we're in hive mind and we're two peas in a pod, I'm going to have to be the contrarian here. I'm going to have to go on the other side. I'm going to have to take the guy who, like you mentioned, that was my big note. I know, don't be, don't be so shocked here when I'm taking the other side of the spectrum. And here, before I dive in, crossover here in the chat, I have zero confidence in any pick on this fight. You're goddamn right. I'm the same way. I was pretty much on the fence, but I was kind of leaning the guy who has a little bit more experience in the UFC, that being Jamal Pogues or Pogues, however you say it. I like what I'm seeing. He's a few years younger. He's going to have 5-inch reach advantage as well. It's a slobber knocker, to put it lightly. This is one that is a virtual pick'em according to Vegas. So you can listen to Olin, you can listen to me. You're probably equally 50-50 there. Flip a coin. You're just about, probably going to be on the right side of it. But I think just in honor of things, hopefully one of us will be doing a shot next week when we recap it. But I'm going to stick with the Jamal Pogues pick here, the guy that's been in the UFC a little bit longer. Yes, he's seen some more losses, And I think I do like where your head's at with the guy that's undefeated, the guy that doesn't know what losing looks like yet. Definitely scares me, but I'm sticking with my guns here. And I just am going to be, like I said, contrarian to set the tone for Saudi Arabia here. Early morning Saturday. Let's go.
Love to see it, baby. Love to see it. Well, with that being said, we stand on opposite sides of the spectrum here. We'll move forward. We have a featherweight bout between Bogdan Grad coming in against Lucas Alexander. No, I'll let you take the lead on this one. We got a 29-year-old versus a 29-year-old, 5'7" versus 5'9". I mean, a lot of things are virtually identical other than that big 3-inch reach and height difference there.
Virtually identical, like you said, except the reach. And I would say the difference with these guys is a little bit of the grittiness they fight with and the styles. We're going to see a clash of styles here. But I do like what I'm seeing from a Bogdan Grad. Okay, this is a fighter that's coming in on a 3-fight winning streak. Somebody that has shown some really fun striking, man. I mean, this guy's doing spinning back fists. He's throwing spinning kicks. He's got all the tools in the arsenal. I really like what I've seen from him thus far. And not that I don't like the skill set of a Lucas Alexander, someone that's almost 6 foot tall in a lightweight division here. Coming off a loss, unfortunately, and not as much experience in the UFC, or I should say one win, 2 losses in the UFC. Uh-oh. Lost my signal there a little bit. But what I see from Lucas Alexander is a gritty fighter. He's 8-4. But I think he's going to have some issues with Bogdan, who's going to have the upper hand and just throwing everything but the kitchen sink at you. That really just ends up having you on your back foot. I don't know how he's going to be able to do from a counter perspective. So give me Bogdan, the guy that has proven, at least in my opinion, or at least the tape, to have some fun skills. And I believe he is the Ben favorite here, if I'm not mistaken. Even money, I guess. And hardly ever do you see even on the odds on ESPN. -120 for Lucas Alexander. So I think I'm taking the underdog. Woof, woof. Junkyard dog, box in the backyard, baby. Come on, we're taking our first underdog. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. This is a good one. This is, it is a pick 'em, right? You got -105 for Bogdan. You got -115 for Lucas. I do like Bogdan in this one. I think Bogdan gets it done. I think he is the stronger fighter, even though his opponent does have a 3-inch reach advantage on him and a 2-inch height advantage on him. Bogdan will be punching up, which is tough, especially for somebody who likes to do the spinning arsenal attacks, as you mentioned. So throwing spinning back fists and things like that might be ill-advised against a taller opponent like this. But as long as he's been working and training, working in camp against longer and taller opponents, again, that could be a means to getting in and breaking through that distance that he's going to have to break through in order to actually connect on somebody that is longer than him to the extent of 3 inches. So, yeah, I'm actually with you on this one. I like Bogdan Grad. I think he gets it done. And I just think that realistically, he is the better fighter in here. He's more skilled. His opponent, as you said, is coming off of a TKO loss, I believe. Yeah, TKO loss via right hook. And that loss came by way of Jika Sarigi, who that was his second fight in the UFC. And by the way, that was his only win in the UFC. Before that fight, the young man lost to Anshul Jubli, and since then he lost to Weston Wilson, who sounds like a Marvel villain. But I digress. If he's getting knocked out by folks like Jika Sarige, I think Bogdan could probably get the KO on him too. So I'm fairly confident in this one. Am I confident enough to take it at pick'em odds? No, I'm not going to place any bets on this one. That could change when I'm in Palm Desert at a spa and I'm looking at the odds on underdogs. Maybe some live betting happens, but as of right now, for the show purposes, we're not putting any units on that one today, guys. But I digress. It should be a really fun fight. I think Bogdan does get it done, but I can't stand to spend any more time on this when I know that the next fight is a women's flyweight bout, Nano, between the one, the only Jasmine and Maida Bueno Silva coming down in weight. I'm going to go ahead and take the lead on this one. I'll keep it short and sweet because I don't think that this fight needs a ton of color commentary. Because, I mean, anybody who is saying, hey, I think the right pick for the win is Mayra Bueno Silva, all I have to say to you is...
It's actually Yesidovich.
Okay, folks. That's the one that's going to get it done. That's the one that's going to get the win. Lele, I'm so sorry, Lele. You can bet Mayra, and I will bet you a shot on my friend, Jasmine.
Yesidovich.
Because that's who I think gets it done. Making the walk. Oh, it's taken Jasmine.
Yesidovich.
In the next fight. Yeah, it's facts. I am. It's truth. I just think that she is the better fighter in this weight class. Mayra is coming down for this fight, so she can bring power with her. But I also just think that Jasmine is more technically sound. I do think that she will probably look to utilize the takedowns in this fight. She'll gas out her opponent. And then after that, Mayra's going to be in deep water. She's going to be swimming with a shark. And that shark is going to smell blood. I'm taking Jasmine inside the distance here, folks. I do think she gets it done inside the distance. But, I mean, the odds aren't too terrible for me to want to bet money line on her. I am going to actually just play it safe on this one and put 1 unit down on Jasmine to get that money back, folks. Nano, tell us who you have winning this fight and why it's Jasmine.
I like it, brother. Honestly, I mean, for the sake of the bit, I really don't want to bet against Jasmine Javidovich. I mean, she's an absolute beast, absolute stud. And I like what I'm seeing in the comments here. Lethal Sugar, I got Jasmine here all day. Mayra too sloppy. That is interesting. She is going down a weight class. I wonder if she looks any better, losing that weight, doing that weight cut. Crossover as well. Jasmine's been on a roll. That is what scares me. If I were going to be the contrarian again, like I said early on, and try to go with Mayra Bueno Silva, because I do like her as a fighter. I thought she looked really good. She did lose to Raquel Pennington, obviously, who, for the championship, that's the ex-champ. That's okay in my book. And then her most recent loss to Chazon, Macy Chazon, was that definitely took me back a little bit. I was hoping she was going to take that win and move forward and get back in the title contention, but Macy Chazon said, hell no, I'm the one. I'm Chazon. I'm the one to come in here and take you out. But all things considered, man, I do think this is going to be a really, really fun matchup. I'm leaning Jasmine as well, and the odds certainly are suggesting that I'd be a fool not to take our girl Jasmine, but I would potentially hedge this one, man. I do think Mayra Bueno Silva going down a weight class, she's really, really tough, and a lot of things that Jasmine's going to want to do, she can do as well. When it comes to the wrestling, when it comes to the grappling, when it comes to just being tough, digging deep. Again, she did get kind of screwed a little bit on the decision, although she was losing. She was losing that fight to Macy Chazon. I saw you, Lele, wanted to shot you out there. I feel you, but at the same time, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is Mayra Bueno Silva was going to have to dig really deep to beat a Macy Chazon. So I think there's a reason why she's going down a weight class, why she feels that maybe this is her best route. Unfortunately, though, this is a tough matchup with a JJ Jasmine, who we're fond of around here. Love you, baby. Thank you for that. Shout out Capitan here as well. Rafucho, what's up, brother? Good to see you as well. Let us know how you're feeling about these fights. And you heard the soundbite here. If you've been tuned in, or if you're just getting here, I'm going with Jasmine all the way. You know the vibes. Can't bet against her now. But if you hedge it, we'll knock you for it.
I mean, if anything, I would double down on it. I'm not hedging this bet not to save my life, bro. I'd rather lose money. If anything, I'd bet the money line for the safe money, and then I'd bet like a half unit or I'd probably bet just a whole other unit on inside the distance for Jasmine. Because you can get that at plus 450 right now, folks. And I got to answer this question in the chat. Making the Walk said, do you see a finish in that fight, though? Obviously not common to bet that in WMMA. Definitely not a common bet in women's MMA, but Jasmine is a bit of a finisher, and she's on a bit of a mean streak, and Mayra Bueno Silva just got finished, although as Lele said, early stoppage, right? The ref arguably stopped her from taking additional damage that would have inevitably happened. She was already kind of eating shots, and it would have likely continued. So I'm not mad at the stoppage. If the ref would have waited 5 to 10 more seconds, I think a lot more people, myself included, would have been happier with the stoppage. But I'm not here to get angry about it. Now, that being said, all that just to say, if she got finished by Macy Chasson, and now she's coming down in weight, I don't know if you remember Dustin Poirier at featherweight. He's my favorite fighter of all time. So I do very fondly. Me and Drew used to joke and say it's not a Dustin Poirier fight until he gets dropped. Because he used to get dropped every single fight at featherweight. And that Assunção fight, I think he got dropped 3 or 4 times. Like, his chin was so depleted. You're losing lining around your facial tissue, around everything when you're cutting that much weight. So she used to cut weight to make 135. Now she's going to cut additional weight to make 125. I don't think it's the move for her now at this point in her career. She's already so late in her career, and she's not going against an easy stepping stone in this new division. Like, realistically,
Yes, David.
is a tough matchup for anybody, even people that have been here for a while. So, yeah, give me young Jasmine,
Yes, David.
who is on a tear and going to continue that tear. And speaking of a tear, we have a tear in the next fight. It's a lightweight bout between Terrence McKinney and Damir Hadzovic. This fight has fireworks written all over it. 15-7, 14-7. Both guys typically go for the finish. Both guys typically either finish or get finished. So I'm seeing a finish in this one. I'm fairly confident in it. Nano. I'm gonna let you take the lead on it, and then we'll talk through best bets.
I like it, brother. I like it. I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm taking the young buck here. You know, as some of y'all may know, if you don't know, now you know. I like my young bucks, especially when you're looking at that 6+ or 7+ year gap. We're talking an 8-year difference here into Terrence McKinney versus Damir. The reality is, I like Terrence McKinney, man. He's a fun fighter. He's someone I hate betting against. He's been matched up against some absolute savages. His record certainly indicates that. A lot of experience, but not always on the winning side, right? 15-7, not ideal. And he has a guy that he's going up against that has 8 years of life on him, but has one less fight. So I do like how busy Terrence's been up to this point. He is the massive favorite here at a -575, maybe somewhere around there, depending on the books that you're using. But give me Terrence McKinney with a roughly 3.5, roughly 4-inch reach advantage. The guy that has a little bit more, I just like a little bit more oomph, a little bit more style, moxie, as you like to say, or as you mentioned, I like to say around here. You say it because I like to say it. But give me Terrence McKinney on this one, man. I think it's a good bounce back performance for him. Damir, obviously, another guy that is always a live dog by all means. Don't want to completely discredit him, but I am biased here, y'all. I am a big Terrence McKinney fan. I'm rooting for him. I think he has a good path to victory here, and hopefully gets back into contention as he approaches his 30s. I'm 30 as well. You know, shout out those 94 babies. We're just getting in our prime, so I think he's the best is yet to come for our boy TM. Give me Mr. McKinney here. Probably by decision. If he could get the chase to finish, that'd be ideal. He could use the 50K. We all can in these times. But give me the boy Terrence McKinney, brother. Are we high-minded on this one, or are you going with the underdog in Sir Damir?
So we're hive-minding to an extent, but we're also complete polar opposites to an extent, my guy. We're together on Terrence. I like Terrence in this fight. I do think he beats Damir Hadzovic. But I don't like that you said decision, because that is literally the opposite of what I would bet if I was betting on this fight. I'm not doing a ton of bets. I locked in some bets preemptively on this. My bookie's out of town right now. So with that being said, if I was going to add any additional bets that I haven't already locked in, I'll be honest, I would hedge round 1, 2, and 3. So there's a really fun layer on the DraftKings Sportsbooks area of MMA where you can bet on round props. So when you click on round props, you can actually look at the specific winning round, which means you don't even have to pick a winner. So when there's a firefight like this, where you have somebody who, I don't know, is going to knock you out, or get knocked out by a knee, you should probably bet that the fight's going to end inside the distance. And for this, if you don't know exactly which one's going to eat that knee, you can just take round 1, round 2, or round 3. So round 1, you can get at minus 165, which obviously, you put 1 unit on it, you're only going to end up getting 1.6 units back, right? So the way the hedge game works is you got to play smart, not hard. So round 1 is minus 165. Round 2 is plus 350. Round 3 is plus 850. So Vegas bettors think this is probably going to go down in the first round, folks. They think it's going to be a 5-minute fight at best. I think these guys are going to be slightly more resilient and make it into the second round. So how do we ensure that we're going to make money on this? If you're going to follow this and you bet on the round props, do this. Round 1, 2 units, right? So if you do 2 units, you're going to get 3.21 back, which, not terrible, not bad. Actually, you know what? We'll raise that. So that way we break a little bit more even here. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go 2.5 units on round 1. That way we basically break even. We make like 4 units back. On round 2, you put 1 unit, you get 4.5 back if that hits. And then on round 3, you put 1 unit and you get 9.5 back. So essentially, either way, you're protecting your share, you're protecting your money and your dollars and your cents. But if this fight goes anywhere past that first round, you're cashing, you're grossing. So again, this is how you hedge these bets to actually make money on these. And yeah, Lethal Sugar sub is live. I wouldn't take this fight at just knockout. If I was going to pick either side, I'd pick inside the distance. Making the walk said T-Rex coming with that new dad energy, wins via finish. If not, he wakes up in the back. That's a fact. That's exactly it, Jags. He wakes up in the back or he sends this dude to the Shadow Realm. I have no other way that this fight can go. And Lethal Sugar, yeah, it will be interesting to see Mayra Bueno Silva on the scales. I think it will say a lot about how the fight's going to go. If she looks drained on the scales, boy, oh boy, I hope she packed a lunch because, or a breakfast in our case, since it's at like 7 a.m. But yeah, it's going to be a tough day at the office for her if she has a tough time making it to the scales. So yeah, we both like Terrence McKinney in this one. I'm not going to bet it, but as you just heard, if I were going to, that's what I would do. Moving into the heavyweight division, we have a bout between Shamil Gaziev and Thomas Peterson. I don't have a lot of heat on this one. I'm not going to spend a ton of time giving you color and fluff on it. Look, Shamil Gaziev is the better fighter. He's 13-1. His opponent's 9-2. He is the older fighter. He's 34. His opponent's 29. He has not passed that holy threshold of being an old fighter, right? He's simply the older fighter in this bout. He's also 2 inches taller, and he also has a 4.5-inch reach advantage. I mean, that's all I need to really say, folks. Like, he's a better grappler. He has slightly cleaner striking, in my opinion, when he needs to. Give me Shamil Gaziev in this one pretty much any way he chooses to get this done.
Yeah, well said, brother. I absolutely agree. We'll keep it short and sweet. He has the cleaner striking, to take what you said, and he can get it anywhere, any way he wants it. Anywhere it goes, he'll find a way to get it done, I believe, that being Shamil here. And like you mentioned, the striking, but also the ground game. Like, Shamil does have that ability as well, 13-1, with his background. At the end of the day, I mean, if we're being honest, I mean, these heavyweights, these big boys, like, once they start swinging and banging, anything can happen. They're both live for a finish at any point. But I'm going to take the betting favorite on this one. Keep it simple. Go with Shamil. You know what time it is. And shout out Dixon Sider. He's back in action, man. Never missing as always. Like what I'm seeing.
Olin, the only thing you and Emilianito need to know is that Shamil O'Neal is going to dunk and pasteurize Thomas Jefferson. What even is that comment? Dixon Sider, I'm so happy you're in the chat, my friend. I hope you're having a fun night. Making the walk, a layup for Gaziev. Peterson lost to Pogues just a couple fights back and now fights later in the card. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for Peterson. I don't think that I don't think this is an easy fight for him. I don't think this is a fun fight for him. I think he should probably contact his manager after this fight. But But I digress. It sounds like we're both in the same boat here, and I'm happy to hear it because I don't know which boat I'm in for this next fight, and I damn sure don't know which boat Nano's in. So without further ado, we have the main event of the preliminary card here. We have a featherweight bout between Muhammad Naimov and Kane O'Flea, which, again, Kane O'Flea just sounds like some kind of superhero name or something. Both these guys are very, very promising, right? 11-3 and 12-3. You got a 30-year-old versus a 31-year-old. In terms of what they bring to the table, I'd say they bring very different skill sets to the table, obviously. But I took the lead there on the last one, so I'll give Nano the lead on this color commentary.
Let's go. I appreciate it, brother. I'll keep it short and sweet again here because I do think I don't need to waste a lot of time, but I will spend the time here hyping up our boy Muhammad John Naimov. I mean, dude looks absolutely savage, man. I love how violent he is. Repping Tajikistan, has all the skills as well. Like we were just talking about with Shamil, somebody that just when you look at it, like obviously on paper, 11-3. He's not undefeated. Like he's had some blemishes, but boy, I just like everything he does, man. And he's had a lot of violence in his past fights. A lot of the things you mentioned, virtually identical. He's at a 4-inch reach advantage, but even though he did lose to Felipe Lima previously, still has 3 wins before that, which, again, he looked absolutely savage. Give me Muhammad John to get back on the running track here and take care of business and get the job done as the Bend favorite. What do you got, brother? Are we hive-minding as well, or are you going to be the contrarian this time around?
No, brother, I think we're hive-minding on this one. It's going to be a boring show, obviously. No, I think Kane Genghis O'Flea is gonna draw a tough stick out coming in here against Muhammad Hillman Naimov. The guy's an absolute beast. He is coming off of a loss, as you said here, to Felipe Lima. But let's look at what happened before then, right? He not only got a win over Jamie Malarkey in his UFC debut, but he got a nasty right hook knockout. And then obviously like dropped him and then finished up with grounded strikes. But Jamie Malarkey is notably tough to put away in this division in the UFC, and he went out here and did it in his debut. Then he goes out against Nathaniel Carved of Wood, and he takes him out via unanimous decision, something that, again, not an easy thing to do. And then after that, he goes out and fights Eric frickin' Silva. Not that Eric Silva, the new Eric Silva from like 2025. And he took him out with a leg kick in just 44 seconds into round number 1, folks. So, yeah, I'm with Dixon Sider here. I am with Dixon Sider here. Give me the man, Muhammad Hillman Naimov, inside the distance. I really like this one. Yeah, I think he's the guy to bet on. He's the stronger guy. It's crazy because both guys actually have the same running 5, right? Like they're 4-1, but Kane O'Flea has just fought lesser opponents, right? And against the people that he has fought, he's struggled a bit more. So yeah, give me Muhammad Naimov. I think he goes out there and probably gets it done via right hook. I don't know why. I just feel like the right hook is going to happen for him again. It was perfect the first time he landed it in his debut, and I feel like we're going to have deja vu watching this on Saturday morning, guys. And looking at the odds for this one, let's see here. You can actually take Muhammad Naimov to win by knockout at plus 215. So maybe not a bad play here, folks. If you want to take him just outright inside the distance, I think you can actually get that one at plus odds as well. You can get that at plus 165. That's not bad at all. I think that's actually a better play. Now, again, my bet's already locked in for the week. This was not one of them, but only because these odds were not out when I locked my bets in like a week and a half ago, folks. That being said, that's probably a really good one to place. Dixon Sider, looking at you, my friend. Hit up your bookie. Moving into the next fight, we are jumping into the main card, folks.
It's time
for us to start talking about that damn thing. So we have a lightweight bout getting us started against, it's Faraz Zayam coming in against Mike Davis. This one is one where I feel like we actually might be swinging against each other. No. But I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful that we could have a bit of a hive mind here. And you know what? First fight of the main card, I'll actually let you take this one first. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Let's go, brother. Let's go. I guess I don't know if I'm falling right into your trap, but I'm taking the underdog. Okay, you know I like my junkyard dogs. I'm taking Fares Zaim. I like what I saw from him, man. He showed a lot of violence. I was surprised to see the odds. Like I always say, I don't look at them before I do my pick, so I just play it as it lies. I thought he was the betting favorite. Everything I see and what I've seen from him, he's a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, and a little bit younger as well. Actually, I don't know about stronger. Honestly, Mike Davis looks pretty big, if I'm being honest. And that is probably what scares me, and that may be his differentiator here, maybe why Vegas has taken Mike Davis as the betting favorite. And he lands a lot of strikes. Dude's violent, got some good boxing. But I like Fares Zaim. There's something about him. He has that moxie, as I like to say. Has an edge to him. And before I keep going here, gotta shout out S-Dog. You know the freaking vibes, as always. And I do be switching up my background. I be moving and grooving, man. Like a good job, Terry. You can't keep me caged up, man. You know what time it is. I stay live, but I say thriving. Good to see you as always, brother. Let us know how you're feeling about this card. You as well, all 18 of you. Let us know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Throw your favorite emoji in there. Throw a question in there. We could talk about life. We can detour from UFC if we need to. But I digress. Give me Fares Zaim, the Frenchman, to take care of him, Pepe Le Pew, of his opponent. Then I will hand it off to you, all in MMAnomaly. Bon voyage. Bon chéri.
Well, all right, man. I mean, if we're both taking the Paris guy, switch up the vibes.
Oh, bon chéri.
Sacre Bleu, it's me and you. We picked the same guy too. No, this is such fun background music. I kept this since we did the UFC Paris one.
Give it in.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. So let's switch it back to the regular music for the people. I'm on Zaim. I'm with you here. I think he gets it done, and it's exactly what you said. I hate that you said there's just something about him, because literally I have that written down, like in my notes. There's just something about him. Like, he's captivating. He's alluring. His striking style is very, very fun to watch. The way he keeps people on the edge of that jab when he lands it. It's pretty. It's nice. Lethal. I'm not mad at you, because I've gone back and forth on this pick literally for the last 2 weeks. But every single time, I fall back on the fact that I think Zaim walks him into a jab, and then he lands something quick after that, like a jab to a jump knee, or a jab to an uppercut. I see it being something down the center line for him, because Mike Davis does a really good job of keeping a high guard when he's moving in. He keeps his hands up, but he keeps his hands at his sides to kind of block from the hooks. So Zaim will make that read. He'll step out, hit him with a jab, and then on that flicker jab, he'll just catch him with an uppercut, or a knee will come up the center. That's my take. I think he gets it done inside the distance. I do like Mike Davis. I really like him. And it's like the battle of the cool nicknames for me in this one, man. You got Smile Killer coming in against Beast Boy. Like, come on, I'm a big Teen Titans fan, so I love that. But not betting with my heart in this one, trying to bet with my brain. And I do think that my brain is betting right on this underdog, folks. Speaking of underdogs, we have a few underdog picks that I'm definitely going to go with in these next fights. But without further ado, folks, we've already gone through about 45 minutes of this show, and we haven't done a single shot. I know Nano is in a dry house right now, but that's okay. We're pouring one up for the folks, for the people at home. If you drink, raise one up with us. If you don't, that's fine too. Have a sip of water, like Nano, who's doing his best crossover impression right now over here to my right with his agua. Folks, again, you could be anywhere in the world this Thursday night, this beautiful Thursday night, and you chose to be right here with us. So we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell for notifications. And if you drink with us, folks. We appreciate you. Cheers.
No Dixon Cider. We did not.
Not yet. Not yet. Saving the best for last. Waiting for you. Waiting for you, my friend. Man. We will definitely get into that. But before we do, we still have 4 more fights to talk about. And at the risk of people calling me a casual, these are the 4 best fights on the card, folks. We're talking about Said Nurmagomedov coming in against Vinicius Oliveira in the bantamweight division. I love this fight for a number of reasons, for a myriad of reasons. And I could truly see it going either way, man. I really, really could. Said Nurmagomedov is a Nurmagomedov. He's just that. He's 18-3. His opponent coming in across from him is 21-3. He's a little bit older than his opponent. He's 32, whereas Vinicius is 29. Loke Dog. 5'8" versus 5'7". Loke Dog being the taller opponent here. And only a half inch of reach separating the two. I feel like these are 2 guys who usually come in and know how to utilize their reach and typically have a reach advantage, right? So neither of them are going to have that in this fight. So it'll be very intriguing and interesting to see what happens really in this octagon when they don't have that reach advantage over their opponent standing across from them. Are they still able to dominate, dictate, and just premeditate the pacing of the dance, right? For Said, he does have 6 submissions under his belt. And he's a stud when it comes to grappling. He has a number of decision wins, right? 8 decision wins. But all 3 of his losses have come by way of decision. Now, if you look at Loke Dog, bit of a different setup here. Never lost a decision, but he's only won 3 of them. Never lost by submission, but he's only had 2 of them. Always loses by TKO if he's going to lose. He's lost 3 times. All 3 were by TKO or KO. He also wins 76% of his fights by KO. So the man is a KO machine, right? So let's talk about who he's managed to actually knock out in the UFC or of UFC caliber. So he fought against Victor Madrigal in Contender Series back in 2023. He knocked him out in the very first round, just 3 minutes and 2 seconds in, with a left hook. Little left hook Larry action for the folks at home. And then after that, he made his official UFC debut against Bernardo Sopai, who, shout out Crossover if you're still in the chat. That was a fun fight to witness live against Ricky Tercios at the freaking Intuit Dome. Sheesh. Man, that was a good one. But I digress. He knocked that kid out on the end of a knee. It was a beautiful knee. It was perfectly timed. And Sopaj was doing the same big breathing he was doing there against Ricky Tercios. The simple difference was the fact that Vinicius still had that much in the tank in round number 3. So he sprinted forward and threw that flying knee. Now, against somebody like Ricky Simone, he was not able to get the man out of there. Ricky Simone, notably durable. Very durable guy. You know who else is very durable? Even though he might get tired in the last round, I'll admit it. I'll call a spade, right? My name isn't Ola Nurmagomedov, right? It's Haram Nurmagomedov, folks. Those who know me know. I'm just kidding. Inside joke. But anyways, Said does not get knocked out, right? He does get tired. And Vinicius can get him tired and possibly submit him, but he only has a couple of submissions under his belt, right? I think Said wins this fight anywhere it goes. I truly think that he's going to go out there and utilize his wrestling a little bit more in this fight than we typically see. Gas out his opponent in Vinicius, and then look to take over the fight. Nano, kick me off the soapbox. Am I wrong here? You going with Vinicius?
As cool as his name sounds, shout out Gladiator 1 and Gladiator 2 there. I feel like it's very fitting for, that era. And he is a modern day gladiator. All these guys are, man. Got to give them all their flowers. And I certainly love how violent Vinicius is. I love how he's always going out there trying to find that finish. Very active for a young fighter still. But, man, you think I'm a bet against a Nurmagomedov? Come on, man. Come on, brother. You know this, man. Islam would be mad at you, brother. You say, what are you doing, brother? You know better than this. You know better than this. What are you doing, brother?
You know, brother. You know this.
You know, brother. You know this. You know I smashed this guy, man. And you know I'll strike with him, but you know I will smash him if I need to smash him. And I think that's what he's going to do. I think it's going to be a really, really fun stylistic fight here. But Said Nurmagomedov, man, he's been here. He's done it. Okay, he's been in the UFC for a long time, savvy vet. His only blemishes, one of them to a Hayoni Barcelos, who just freaking
He went out
absolutely
there and made a name for himself.
He made a name of himself. He absolutely halted that hype train in Peyton Talbot. So that aged like a fine wine. And then the other one against Jonathan Martinez, who is really the cream of the crop, one of the best strikers in the division, a guy that is, again, at the top, at the cream of the crop. The cream of the crop rises, and he's rising all the way up to the top. And I think that's where Saeed is going to be as well. The way I look at it, I'm using some MMA math here. I think he's more close to that top range than Vinicius is. And I think it's just a trust thing. I love the striking I see from a Vinicius, but it just feels like he's maybe button mashing a little bit, to use a gaming term there. He's just going out there spraying and praying. I don't know how much skill's going into it. I mean, when you have an opponent hurt, or when you're in the driver's seat, it's a little bit easier to showboat, to get crafty, do the Sugar Sean step back, or do things like that. When you know you're winning, you're in your flow state, hey, that's all fun and games. But I don't think you're going to have the opportunity with the Saeed Nurmagomedov. That's my only fear, is he's not going to be able to be the leader in this dance. So I think Saeed Nurmagomedov is going to find a way to get it done. I just trust him more than a Vinicius. I'll eat my words in the form of a shot next week, because we are on opposite sides of the fence here. But boy, I think we're all going to be in for a good one. Let us know how you're feeling. Who you sign with? Do you sign with me, the Nurmagomedovs, or are you going with the Brazilian? It's a tale as old as time here, but I'm excited for it, brother. Can't wait.
It sounds like for a second you got it twisted. I'm also Nurmagomedov in this one.
Okay, good. We're good.
I mean,
we are high-minded. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I think he's going to tire out his opponent. Like I said, like Saeed does get tired, but he doesn't get knocked out. And I think Vinicius' only way to beat him is to knock him out. So, like, what happens if your only path to victory is a knockout and you're fighting someone who's unknockoutable, seemingly? I just don't think it's going to be a good night for you.
Agreed.
But the next one, folks, I got to say, without any shadow of a doubt, I think is probably going to be a knockout here, folks. I think it's going to be a vicious finish. We got a heavyweight bout between Sergey Pavlovich coming in against Jairzinho Rozenstruik. I'm going to keep this description as short as I think the fight's going to be, folks. I think Jairzinho Rozenstruik goes out there and gets just pelted by Sergey Pavlovich. You like I did that? You thought I was going to go with Jairzinho. I saw you. You were like, this guy's a fucking idiot. I can't believe him. I saw you. I saw your face. Little bit. No, look, if you guys think Sergey is going to go out here and lose this fight, you must have forgot. You must not have been paying attention to Sergey Pavlovich. Like the shadow boxing on the beach, that's a 265-pound man. That's a big boy. And he's going to go, 257-pound man. But either way, it's still like 15 more pounds than Jairzinho, and he carries it better. Like Jairzinho looks like the drunk uncle at a barbecue, which, with all due respect, he'll fuck you up, right? That drunk uncle. But Sergey looks like a Rocky villain. Both like in the way that he looks and the way that he fights. He moves much faster than a heavyweight should move. And I think anybody not named John Jones and or Tom Aspinall probably going to get beat up by him. Drew said, how hard does Josh Emmett hit? I'd say hard enough to make somebody think the earth is flat and that Hitler's a hero. That's got to be the right answer, right, Drew? I don't know. Nano, who do you have? And tell me if I'm wrong here on this Sergey pick.
No, you're absolutely right, brother. We'll keep it short and sweet, because that's how these heavyweight fights go, man. Sergey's the man. I mean, I think it's easy to forget how good he is or where he was on in terms of trajectory. He had a blemish, right? Tommy Aspinall did walk through him. But, man, let me tell you, when these heavyweights are swinging and banging like that, it doesn't take much. And I don't think that should discredit any of these guys. Like, it's why we love it. It's high stakes, and you get high rewards. Unfortunately, he did not get the highest reward of that championship, heavyweight champion of the world. But I still think he is on the short list of one of the best in the world, in the heavyweight division, anywhere you put it. I mean, I would love to see, I just thought of like him fighting Ngannou. Like, I think he's closer to that realm. I don't even know. I shouldn't even mention his name. He who shall not be named in Dana White's book. But why I mention that is because he's in that elite class of strikers. People that are absolute freak of natures. He didn't land a shot against the Tommy Aspinall. Tommy's a little too slick, quick on the feet, like a jive turkey is, always moving and grooving. Shout out S-Dog there on that one. But yeah, I just don't think Rosenstruck really has an answer for it. And as we've seen in the past, he does not do well with big power punchers, with those home run heavy hitters. And that's exactly what he's going up against, the most elite of the elite. And like you said, brother, his boxing is crispy like bacon. I mean, it's abnormal. I mean, one might even call him an MMA anomaly. That he's that good, man. You love what you see from a Sergey Pavlovich. He's freakish, and I think he's going to find a way to get it done quick in the first round here and get back on track. Hopefully fight for a title sooner than later. Love to see him running back. I think he's probably a fight or two away, but again, I think he's closer to that realm than the latter.
Oh, yeah. And there's so many other good matchups to make other than like championship bouts for him at this point, even with a win. And shout out Juice Man in the chat. We are live.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Let's go.
Great to have you, Juice Man, bringing the juice.
I was going to say, anytime somebody gives me an excuse to play that sound clip, MVP. Appreciate you, Juice Man. MVP right now. And yeah, man, I mean, look, Sergey is the man, the myth, the legend, the Russian beast. This guy is just an absolute slaughterer, and I think this is going to be no different. The next one, I think we're for sure going to be betting a shot against each other next week. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this one. I'll let you take the lead on it. Sharabutin Magomedov coming in against Michael Venom Page, aka MVP Nano. Which middleweight are you banking on?
I'm biased, man. I'm a prisoner of the moment. I'm a UFC fan through and through. And I like the guy with the cool name. I like the guy that's the MMA anomaly. I like the guy that has all the cards stacked against him. I'm not talking about the underdog here. I'm talking about the one, the only, the undefeated Shara Bullet. I think he's going to find a way to get it done. I think he has Da Vinci's Code. I think he knows. I don't know. I was trying to think of a language.
I understand.
Da Vinci's Code. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Da Vinci's Code. You get the point. He gets it, man. He can talk the talk. He can walk the walk, and he will dodge the bullets. And if you can dodge a bullet, you can dodge a wrench. You could dodge an MVP Venom punch. I'm telling you, man, he has what it takes to get it done. And a lot of things go into this fight. I'm super excited. We're going to see nothing but great striking, y'all. Shower Bullet, read the name, remember it. That is the guy you want to know here. He's undefeated. He's repping the UFC. He answered the bell. And shout out MVP as well. He just wants to put on good fights. That's all he's been doing. But this isn't a Kevin Holland. This isn't a 40-year-old Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. This is a Shower Bullet in his prime. And honestly, like when you actually watch them on tape, they actually have really similar movements. They both are very springy. They're moving and grooving, chucking and jiving. But I'm taking the 30-year-old here. I'm taking the guy, the Bullet, the active fighter. And like we saw last time, man, I mean, he's game for a late finish as well. He's going to be throwing those spinning back fists, double back fists. Potential knockout of the year last year.
Brian from Tekken.
Dude, I mean, absolute next level. But both these guys are crazy, man. I mean, I love what MVP's doing. He's tricky, he's slick. He's got all the skills. He's got the fight IQ. So I know he's going to be locked in. He's going to bring his A game. But I think Sharbull is going to be able to dig a little bit deeper. But I am super, super curious to see what you have to say, brother. I'm curious to say what all y'all listening have to say. All 17 of you. Talk to us, man. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? This is the matchup. Throw in some bullets. Throw in some guns for Shower Bullet. Maybe not. Maybe one eye for Shower Bullet. and throw in the
Maybe throw in a
Venom.
pirate ship or something, folks. Or like, is there an eye patch emoji? Is there a pirate?
Is there a pirate ship in there? I haven't checked in a
something
while.
pirate related. I'm pretty sure
There's
you can
been a
throw
lot
in
of
the
emojis.
Jolly Roger flag, right? That's an emoji.
There we go. That's G rated. Anyways, let us know how you're feeling, but brother, talk to me, man.
We got to start practicing for when we get monetized.
Fair. We'll edit that out. Then we'll send that in.
No. We will not. We will never edit anything out because this is no sugar. No sugar. I just read his comment as I was saying no filter. This is no filter.
Sugar.
It's all sugar. It's lethal sugar. And he's going with the pirate.
Let's go. Let's go.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Well, lethal sugar. It makes sense because this guy is an Arizona guy and he's a big sugar fan. Not me. Pirate cruise ship. That's hilarious. That's amazing. Pirate cruise ship. Yeah, that's awesome.
I like his other comment though too. He's onto something.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that comment too. I can see a world where Venom wins by decision and avoids the big shots, but Shara should be able to get him. Well, one would think, or get in on him. And he's right. Shara should be able to get in on him. And look, bro, it's like me versus you with the age gap here. All right, so I gotta go with me. All right, I gotta go with me. I gotta do it, bro. I gotta do it. So give me MVP. And I know. I see the way Nano is trying not to look at me. And look, I can't see you right now, chat. I can't see your eyes, but I know what you're all thinking. I know.
Come on, don't be crazy.
All right, and it's okay. I'm gonna be crazy. Okay. I like MVP in this one. I do. Potentially against my better judgment. I like MVP in this one. Let me tell you why. Shara has been rocked in fights. He's never been finished. Obviously, he's got an O next to his name. But he's human, and he does have one eye. And when you have somebody like MVP who is a literal sniper in there and has speed advantage on 90% of people that he's going in there against, he'd be an idiot not to attack the blind side. And I don't think MVP is an idiot. I think MVP is a murderer. He shattered a man's skull and then rolled a Pokeball at him in Bellator. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that's a real story. That really happened. A man that can shatter another man's skull with a knee, like we've only seen that maybe twice in all of MMA. And I only remember one guy's name that did it because it was so impressive. And that's MVP. I'm not saying I think he shatters this man's skull, but I do think he can walk him into a left hook or a lead side head kick. Right? Because Shara Bullet, if I'm not mistaken, is missing his right eye. And again, if I'm not mistaken, you've got a winged footed or a winged stanced karate style that throws Taekwondo style attacks from that karate stance. And he does no tell. There's no tell on those lead side attacks, Nano. So the lead side kick to the head, if he's backstepping, I can literally see Shara coming in, trying to land a big shot. And if he's out of range with anything, especially if he throws like a left and follows up with a right hook, he's out of range here. This is a blind eye. And this eye now has the wrong facing trajectory, so he can't even see the kick coming. It's going to wrap around the side of his head, and he doesn't see it before it hits him. That's dangerous to me in somebody going against somebody like an MVP. And we saw him almost lose in his last fight. He was losing that fight. If it would have went another few minutes, he would have lost that fight. Like maybe not in Saudi Arabia because the judges maybe would have been on his side, but make no mistake, folks, MVP is live in this one. I like that dog. And I'll pick that dog. So give me MVP for the shot, for all the marbles, and for bragging rights against the good old co-host with the most here, the turkey man himself. Turkey season's over, baby. It ain't Thanksgiving anymore.
Oh shit! I'm nervous. I'm still nervous, man. Hey, but we'll agree to disagree here. I know I'm just a lunch deli meat, but I'm not going down that deep. Okay, come on.
It is my favorite deli meat, if I'm being honest with you. Like, turkey over ham all day. Get fucked.
Come on, that's facts.
Oh man. And with that being said, folks,
It's time!
for the main event of the evening, it is a middleweight main event bout between Israel Adesanya coming in against Nasruddin Imavov. Look, man, this is an incredible fight. This is a fight that actually should be made. The UFC matchmakers should get a big pat on the back for this one because, folks, you did your job. you did your job and you did it well. You truly did. And I appreciate it because these are the fights that we live for. With that being said, I got to diss on you any way he wants it in this one. Yeah. I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Israel is the better fighter. Now, if you want to make a comparison to the previous fights of these two folks, you look at Nasruddin and kind of what he brings to the table versus what the last person that beat Israel brought to the table, right? And that was DDP, obviously. So if you look at DDP and what he brings to the table, well, he's strong. He's got grappling. He's kind of a complete fighter, but he looks sloppy when he's doing his thing. And then you have somebody else in Nasruddin Imavov who is the complete opposite. Everything he does looks very technical, aside from the Brendan Allen fight, which produced some of the funniest looking pictures in all of mixed martial arts. But I digress. When you see Imavov in there, he's doing these things very, very technically sound, right? Like if he's shooting a double leg, it's the proper steps to shoot in on that double leg. If he's shooting a single leg, it's all the proper steps. He's not one of these amateur level fighters where he shoots a single leg and his head's in the wrong place, right? Like double leg versus single leg, head's got to be inside versus outside on one. He's never going to have the vice versa there. Whereas DDP, he can get away with doing a single leg and having his head on the inside because he's so freaking strong. Like he can just muscle you down. And we saw him do that against Israel Adesanya. There were times in that Adesanya fight against him where he did the right things. He recovered correctly and he actually sprawled correctly. But then you have DDP being so strong, he's able to muscle up and still force position. Same in the stand-up. Nasruddin doesn't have that strength, right? No, like he has the technique, but he doesn't have the strength. So I just don't think he's going to be able to manhandle and implement his will against Izzy the way that he'll need to win that fight. So I think Izzy probably keeps him at range, keeps him at distance, and we might see a vintage Israel Adesanya knockout like we did in the early days of UFC and prior to the UFC. We've seen him get hurt before in Imavov. We've seen him get rocked. And I think people really, really forget just how deadly Israel is with the striking.
Yeah, man. You're exactly right, brother. You're exactly right. There is always it's a tale as old as times, brother. The changing of the guard and does he still got it? What's his motivation? The 6 years older guy, mid-30s, previous champ, made all the money, made a movie, talked about acting, does his podcasting, does his YouTube channel, money all over. I mean, yeah, what motivation does he still have? And a lot of it is the love of the game. I mean, if you've ever competed, if you've ever done, especially something like mixed martial arts, something to that extent, but even just pickleball, badminton, hell, even just video gaming.
MMA is the most addicting drug I've ever done.
Brother, I mean, and there are some very addicting ones out there, right? And all to say, right, I mean, it's like if you got that itch, it's tough to scratch. And it's really hard to go away. I mean, especially if your body can still do it, especially if you're in Israel Adesanya, you've been able to do it at the highest level. And you have that IQ, you have the mental capacity, and you have the will to win. Israel's the type of guy that you really can't root against, you can't bet against. This is a perfect matchup for him, I think, just in terms of a bounce back. And I don't want to say it as if Nasruddin's some sparring partner, some John Doe that he's going to beat up like it's your Oculus opponent. It's like, no. This guy's a savage as well, and he did earn my respect in his bout against a Brendan Allen, a BA all in. We're all in on our boy here, but simply just dug deeper. He outclassed our boy, man. He made him look like he didn't belong, in the deep waters. And that's where Nasruddin has been able to go as well. He's been able to go the 5 rounds a couple times, not as often as our boy Izzy, right? This is his first non-title fight in a long time, but it's still 5 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to feel the same way. You still train and approach it the same way. And you got a guy that's proven to be able to dig deep. Now, I will say, stylistically, talking nuts and bolts, punches and punches and jabs, X's and O's. Nasruddin's somebody that kind of stays in his box, a little flat-footed. He's gonna try to land his 1-2 and get you out of your game and into his Venus flytrap. I was kind of rewatching that Brendan Allen fight earlier, and he made it messy by getting Brendan to bite into his game. Hey, come on, do that again, right? Yeah, you got me. Go try it again. And I think that whole baiting thing may work on most guys, especially if you did get hurt or they feel like they may sense blood in the water, but not an Izzy Adesanya. This is a guy that is cerebral when it comes to his approach and just his knack and his just knowing of what to do and when. He's not going to go out there trying to get a quick finish. He's going to go out there and be methodical. May even be slow at times, but he's not going to fall in that trap. He's going to get his reads. He's going to do his feints. We're going to see two high-level strikers at his finest. But Anas Radimov is someone that certainly deserves the flowers and the respect. And Izzy will certainly show him that. But, man, Izzy's been training with Bobby Knuckles, man. Like, this guy is just completely evolving, brother. I mean, those guys are like the Vegeta-Goku combo we didn't know we needed, man. Love to see it. Yeah, I just think Izzy's in a totally different world right now. As long as he's healthy, as long as he still can dig deep, which I think he can. Like you mentioned, that fight against DDP had all the makings to go out there and potentially get it done. Just fell a little short. Now, they both did lose to Sean Strickland. Both, I mean, Sean just makes a lot of people look bad. He's like a Tim Wakefield knuckleball back in the day. He's just something that's just hard to deal with. Give me Izzy, baby. Give me Izzy, though, man. I think this is a good way for him to bounce back. And I think hopefully he could get another crack at the title. But still in his prime at 35. Fuck, dude. I do think that's what name's a dog, though. I just can't help but just think.
He's a dog, man. You can't overlook him. You just can't overlook
facts.
him.
Yeah, but can't bet against my boy Izzy Adesanya, the one and only, man.
Can't do it. Stylebender. The last Stylebender.
That's right. I'm riding that till the wheels fall off. Sign me up,
baby. You and me both. And speaking of riding till the wheels fall off, ride or die here. The Rambling Dad, folks. This is the definition of a Money in the Bank friend. This dude is a fucking class act. If you're not already following the Rambling Dad podcast, make sure you give that guy a follow. And quick shout out to the rest of the dogs here. S-Dogs MMA Talk. Make sure you drop a follow to this guy at Making the Walk. Jackson, the folks. This dude puts out really quality content. Really, really love to see this guy. And look, polar opposite of my energy, right? Like, I'm yelling, I'm loud, I'm in your fucking face. This dude's quiet, and he's like, now listen, I'm going to speak just loud enough to where you have to listen to everything I'm saying. And if I'm speaking, I have a very pronounced point to make, and you should probably take note, folks. That's Jax, and you should definitely give that man a follow. And of course, last but certainly not least, folks, make sure you follow the man, the myth, the legend, Crossover MMA, my guy. I actually got to hang out with him recently. We went to UFC 311 together, and it was absolutely fantastic sitting at that arena, watching those fights with the homie. What's the Super Bowl picks, guys?
Lethal Sugar, I'm glad you asked, brother. I'm glad you asked. Well, there's a few picks. If we're talking just straight up, who do I want to win? Got to go with the Eagles, right? I mean, I know Chiefs are going for the three-peat, and I know how good they look, and I know Steve Spagnuolo and their defense are cooking up some shit. But give me the Eagles, man. Their rosters is absolutely bonkers. Saquon Barkley's going to find a way to get it done. And if we're talking betting, give me Eagles money line. Oh, no. Give me Eagles money line. Give me Saquon anytime touchdown. And give me, I don't know. I like Eagles. Give me A.J. Brown, whatever over the yardage is. But I think it's going to be a fun game. I'm excited to see some good commercials. MMAnomaly, are you going with the Chiefs and T Swift? Is that what you're saying over here?
I'm going with the Chiefs and T Swift. And I mean, I'm not betting on it. But if I was betting on it, I'll tell you this. I'd probably do a 3-leg parlay. I haven't even looked at the odds here. But I would tell you this. Whatever underdogs is giving you, take the over on both QBs. And take the over. It's probably either going to be to make a touchdown rushing or receiving, or to make over 1.5 touchdowns rushing and receiving for Saquon Barkley. I would say parlay those three things together and put like 2 units on it, and you'll be a happy dude.
Can't go wrong.
I know that those will hit. Statistically, I've made more money in the last year and a half on NFL than I have on MMA, and I bet a lot more on MMA than I do on NFL.
Underdog, baby. Come on. Shout out. If you're listening, come on. We're
Underdog, sponsor us.
Taking
We're
sponsors.
Here.
Come on, man. We'll put some good ads together. I'm telling you, we're creative. We do cool stuff. Come on.
We have fun with it. Speaking of underdogs and speaking of bets, folks, I am going to walk you through my bets. I did place a handful of them before the bookie took a little break here. And let me tell you, folks, I'm excited about them. But before that, one final shot with the folks. Raise it up if you do. Rambling Dad, you better not. I know you got work right now, my friend. But either way, this one's for you. Cheers, folks. We appreciate you for being here. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell for notifications. That way you know when we're live next time. And cheers to you. Lethal Sugar said, hell yeah. Eagles too good right now. Man, you're not wrong. Saquon Barkley is like a unit for that team. And the rest of the team's not doing bad either, right? So they're really coming together into their own, meshing really well together too. So should be a good game. I know a lot of people wanted some other teams in there. Obviously, if you're a Saints and a Raiders fan, you stopped caring about 6 weeks ago. So I just hope it's going to be a good game, if I'm being honest. With that being said, we got to talk about these bets. First bet is a no-brainer. If you listen to this podcast, you already know anytime Jasmine is fighting, I'm probably going to put at least 1 to 2 units on Jasmine. And that's the simple fact of the matter, right? Because I always think that Jasmine is going to get it done, and this is no different. So, minus 225, had to drop a unit on Jasmine to win 1.44 units, folks. And that's probably going to cash. I think it is. And if it doesn't, either way, I'm never mad wasting money on a Jasmine bet. You know what I'm saying? Because we're still net positive on that lady, Jasmine. That's the last time I'll play that soundbite tonight. And moving into the next one, we have a heavyweight bet. A little bit of a lightweight bet as far as the payout, though. Because he's a minus 298. We're talking about a Sergey Pavlovich money line. I probably, looking back on this, should have taken this inside the distance, but Jairzinho, he's let me down in the past when I bet on him. So I don't want to have him let me down in the future betting against him. And this one just seems like money in the bank. So again, it is 1 unit down to win 1.33. Not a crazy difference from the last one, right? So 1.33 winnings on one, 1.44 winnings on the other. We're basically going to be up almost a whole unit, you guys, after these two hit. But that's okay. We're betting safe instead of stupid this time around. We're not betting with our hearts, we're betting with our brains. And we move into the next bet. This one, I know people would probably be like, you just said you're betting with your brain, not your heart. Why are you betting on this underdog? Well, look, because my brain is telling me this underdog is going to get it done, folks. We're talking about a Michael Venom page. We're talking about MVP. And if you just put a half unit on him, you can net that into 1.25 units. So Nano, that's what we did this week. We went ahead and put a half unit on him, hammered it down. So again, half unit on that one to turn into 1.25. So if you're tracking this so far, we are 2.5 units in, and we are about 4 units up. So follow along with me. We have one more to go through here, folks. Last but certainly not least, minus 175 on Israel Adesanya. No. When was the last time we got those good of odds on Izzy?
Bro, been a minute.
It's been a minute, bro.
Love it. I'll take that all day. That's crazy work.
That's crazy work, bro. So you're giving me Izzy at minus 175, which means I can put 1 unit down on him and gross 1.57. Bro, pay me. Just fucking pay me at this point. Lethal Sugar said MVP by points is plus 290. Well, Lethal Sugar, like, where were you when the bookie was not on vacay? You know what I'm saying? Either way, money line at plus 150 is what I locked him in at. I'm not mad at that. Plus 150 money line for MVP in this Shara bullet fight, I think, is a sensical bet. Part of me thought about hedging Shara on this, but I don't know what it is in me that Call me a crazy man. I feel confident in MVP. I think stylistically, it's a perfect matchup for him to beat Shara Bullet. But it's literally like strength versus finesse. So let's see if power beats the older man. Either way, Nano. It's probably going to look similar to you and me in Thailand in one of these upcoming years.
Damn straight. I mean, hopefully I still have both my eyes at that point, but no, man. I mean, at the end of the day, man, I think
Inshallah, God willing.
yeah, absolutely. But even that's a good maybe reminder that age is just a number, right? You're as young as you feel. I mean, when you're as skilled and talented as these guys are, it's all we're splitting hairs, frankly, because we kind of have to. And we got the microphone in front of us, and we want to just put some fillers out there. But in terms of bets, I mean, I got a little parlay going, with the Izzy shower bullet there. Gotta hedge that, or that's mandatory. Those are the guys. But yeah, I mean, I like Fares Zaim. I think if I'm gonna bet on anyone, I'd go with him. Sergey Pavlovich just feels like an absolute layup. That feels like a given. That guy's gonna go out there, get it done. Maybe take him by finish, or just take him straight up. You're still getting some positive money, like you mentioned. I wonder how much the odds have changed. I'm kind of looking now, but all to say, yeah, man, I think you nailed it with the bets, and it's gonna be a fun weekend. Can't go wrong with anything. I wonder if we should do our little DraftKings little lineup. I mean, always a fun time there. It's not a pay-per-view, but could always be
I
worth.
I already sent the invite.
I'm in there then. I'm
we're
in there
ready,
like
baby.
swimwear.
We're ready.
Come on.
I've been in there for 3 days, bro. I'm waiting. The water's fine. Hop in.
Hey, I'm gonna jump on in now. I'm diving in then. Say less. I love it, man. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for sticking around. Let us know, though, man. I'm curious. Let us know how we're feeling about the bets. If you got any as well, we'll tail them.
I was going to say, let us know if you guys are placing any bets. We'd love to tell you guys on bets. Like, we talk bets all the time here, so you hear our voices all the time. So please, once this video wraps, or if you're in the live chat, either or, maybe both, if you love us, really, let us know in the comments who you're betting and how you're betting them, right? Like, don't just tell us Nasruddin Imavov. Lethal Sugar, great MVP here. He put it in the chat. MVP by points is plus 290. And by MVP, I can only assume you're talking about yourself there right now, Lethal Sugar, because you are the MVP right now in the chat with these bets. Now, again, I'd be remiss here if I didn't just take a quick glance at Underdogs Fantasy, because we'd love to get sponsored by these guys. And they also do have really, really solid picks here and really solid odds. Now, you can get MVP by knockout at a 3.15x multiplier. I don't hate that. You can also take, you can't get him on points yet. I was about to say you can take him by points but it's not available yet. Come on, Underdogs. It's a big one. What are you doing? Man, you could also get him on significant strikes. That feels like free money. No. Talk me off my crazy ledge here. They've got it at 18.5 over under on significant strikes for MVP in this fight. I feel like the over is like free money on that.
18?
18 and a half. So he has to land 19 significant strikes.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at it.
What? I see. Wait, for MVP.
Oh, no. You're right. I scrolled down too far. Okay. That makes way more sense.
I was like, hold on. You better keep looking, buddy.
I scrolled down just a little bit too far, and it was showing me not the face, but the
razor stroke. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, it's showing razor stroke. I love that you're looking at the same page. Okay.
I was like, because I think I see 55. Yeah,
that makes more sense. Okay. Yeah, Jarzinho, I would. That's actually volatile.
Way too high. Yeah, way too high for my taste, but it's there.
Oh man, even 55, like 74 and a half for Sharabutin. I don't know that that's the case.
The fact that he has more, like they have him getting more. I guess he's just a little bit more offensive.
He's aggressive.
Yeah.
And the other guy's a counter striker, so you got to think one guy's the forward striker is going to land more than the counter striker, right? So
even if Sergey landed 21, it's like, dude, he might only land 3. and one in him hitting his fist on his chin, and then his opponent hitting the ground. So I guess maybe 2 and 1 follow up, 3. Yeah, man, this is tricky. I do love underdog. I would say when I'm looking at anything that pops off, I mean, aside Nurmagomedov, potentially 45 strikes, MVP. I mean, going the over is always fun, right? You got to.
I'm kind of locking in right now. I feel like I've got like a 2-leg. I've got a 2-leg locked in right now.
Talk to me. So
I'm going with MVP by finish because I like MVP by finish, but I'm going to take it one step further because I don't think he submits his opponent. I think he has to knock him out, and that's a better multiplier for me. So I'm going to go 3.15 multiplier on the knockout for MVP, and then just add 1 leg to it. We don't want to make it too complex, right, folks? We want to win money. We don't want to stress and sweat money. Sergey Pavlovich finish. It's a 0.7 multiplier. You pair that with the 3.15 multiplier, and that stacks to a 6.61x multiplier. So again, you put 1 unit on that, you get 6.61 back. You put 2 units on that, you get 13.22 back, so on and so forth. I'm feeling kind of bullish, but not that bullish. So I'm gonna be crazy. I'm just gonna do a 1/5 of a unit on this one, so I can save some to put on some of these other ones. And I'm gonna check the chat right now because it looks like somebody else is cooking something up right now. So we got Lethal Sugar in the chat. 4-leg. Sergey, Jasmine, Saeed, T-Rex. Okay. All right. We're going to put that together right now on underdogs. We can't do them outright because they don't have the points picks. So you're going to have to help us do this in the chat. Okay, Lethal? So let's start with the first one here. First leg is Sergey. Do we think Sergey gets a finish? Is the first question for you, Lethal Sugar. I'm going to walk through these picks with you. So we have fight time to be over or under 5 minutes. Finish over under. Knockouts over under. Submissions over under. Significant strikes over under 21.5. Fantasy points. So you can get them on points here. Over or under 59.55. And then, of course, you can choose first, second, or third round finish. And if you pick that, I will follow you, Lethal. I will sweat the entire time. But I will follow what you say in the chat right now. First round is a 1.05x multiplier. So obviously they're thinking that's going to be where it's at. Round 2 is 2.25x multiplier. And round 3 is 5.85x multiplier. Brianna Frost in the chat. How we doing, Brianna? I hope you are having a fantastic Thursday. And I hope you have an even better Friday tomorrow. Thanks for being here. I guess it's officially Friday for you, actually. So happy Friday already for you. And if my memory serves me correct, you're an Eagles fan, right? So go Eagles. Go Birds. Let's go.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I could be completely wrong, but I think Brianna is an Eagles fan. Either way, hope your team does well. So yeah. Yes, fly Eagles fly. Let's go. Love it. Love it. I do have a decent memory every once in a blue moon, I feel. So yeah, Lethal, let us know what you think on that Sergey pick. In the meantime, my friend, we have to continue. Jasmine, one of my favorite fighters. You know I'm talking about Jasmine.
Yes, Adavatage.
That's right, folks. Let's throw her on a bet here. Scrolling down. Nano, what are we thinking for Jasmine? Because
the 2 takedowns was tempting.
That feels easy. I do like that one. I like that one a lot. Yeah, I think over 2 takedowns is probably a money pick. Let's take a quick peek at what she averages.
Might be close to that range.
I'm thinking it is. She got 3 in her last fight. She got 4 in the fight before that. She got 2 in the fight before that. And she got 2 in the fight against Tracy Cortez that she lost. And 4 in the fight against Gabrielle Fernandez. So she averages at least 2 to 3. That's money. But
That's
it's
money
I
in
mean
the
it's
bank.
right on that teeter line, so it's close. But I think I like that one.
You know that's going to be her game. That's her game
Yeah.
plan.
Fair.
I like it. Sign me up.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the one. And Lethal Sugar said kind of like over on significant strikes or KO on Sergey. I'm with you on that. Nano, let's make an educated guess based on those two. So the over finish is going to be a 0.7x multiplier, which means it's a shoo-in to an extent. And then significant strikes is a break even because there's no multiplier on it. It's over or under 21.5, and it looks like he's saying over, which I like over 21.5 on that because in a flurry he's going to hit 10 strikes.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how much he averages, but some of his knockouts, I mean, it is so quick. It's like it could be less than 10 if he hits him right away and knocks him out. But like you said, a quick flurry, body shot, ripping, just TKO, like that can easily be 10 to 15, just getting him out of there. Kind of depends on who's roughing. But I feel like the knockout, I would, or the finish, I would chase. But if you feel good about that 21, after breaking it down, I can feel good about that too, brother, for sure. I like it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look up his actual recurring stats here. Oh, it's A. Oh my god. I'm looking for O's. That's why I'm not seeing it. It's P-A-V. Pavlovich. Jeez, Olin, get it together here. When they have things alphabetized and you still can't figure it out, it's a tough day.
It's one of those.
It actually has been. All right, so Sergey Pavlovich, let's see here. Strikes landed per minute on average is 5.86. And we're talking about significant strikes here, right? So that's tough. Yeah, like in his last fight, he only landed 46 total strikes. In the fight before that against Tom, he landed 1. And then in the fight against Curtis Blades, which was a win, he landed 36 total strikes. Let's see how many of those were significant. 23. Oh, they're assholes.
It's like right there. That's why it's tough.
They're assholes.
They know what they're doing.
21.5. Yeah, we're going. I think we should probably go with the finish on this one. We'll just take the bullet on the lower odds.
Yeah. I reckon we do.
All right, so we got Jasmine Yazadaviches on takedowns, over. And we got Sergey to get the finish on the over. The other two picks were Saeed and T-Rex. I mean, if we're going T-Rex, we got to go finish, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong here, Lethal.
Yeah, finish is solid.
Finish.
Finish. Even strikes was like a layup. I think it was, what was it? Let me look.
22.5.
I felt pretty low.
The only reason
Unless
it's not a
that's
layup is
assuming
he has a 3-strike knockout.
Right, like he might
came
get
out
the
there and
quick
got a
finish.
flash KO in his debut. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
maybe we
worried
take the
about
finish.
that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that worries me. Other than that, like I know he's gonna get a finish, and that's why it's a 0.65 multiplier. So it's a lower pay, but that's fine. And that fourth leg is gonna put it over the top. So let's find Saeed here.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jasmine's the one that blows it, I'm gonna be so upset. Oh, all right. All right, I'm going to read these odds off for you, Lethal. Let's hear it. Let's hear your thoughts. So, Saeed, we got the over-under on 15 minutes fight time. So, basically, does it or does it not go the distance? That's even odds. If you think he's going to get a finish, over on that is 1.46 multiplier. Lower is a 0.73. So, that's where the odds are at. Knockouts. If you think he gets a knockout, it's 3.6 multiplier. Think he gets a sub, it's a 1.89 multiplier. We can go lower and it's a less than 1. Break even on significant strikes over under of 45.5. Ooh, this might be the money. Let's go for that. I think this might be the one. Over under 1.5 takedowns.
I like it.
Do we think Saeed gets 2 takedowns on Vinicius? He doesn't need control. He just needs a takedown. Over is 0.9. Under is 1.1. Like even Vegas is like, I don't know. But I feel like I do know. I think he does get the takedown on that. Yeah, Lethal. Tell me where your head's at on that. Otherwise, we can go first, second, or third round finish specifically, or fantasy points, which are break even on fantasy, and then obviously we're getting gangbusters on the multipliers for rounds 1, 2, and 3 specific picks. But yeah, I mean, for me, I would maybe go either. I mean, and Nano, feel free to jump in here, bro. For me, I think takedowns is probably the easy pick, the over. If we want to be a little bit more ballsy, have a little bit more gusto in the picks here and a little bit more payout in the picks here, we can go for the finish at a 1.46 multiplier. But I mean, that would be it. I don't think I'd venture anywhere else.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I mean, especially when we're stringing together a few picks here, we got to kind of take some calculated risks. I like
Lethal
where
Sugar
you're at.
said takedown sounds pretty interesting.
I do like the takedowns with a 0.9 multiplier too. It's
not bad.
He could get that in the first round if they're striking a lot just to neutralize them. He might be able to get that in the first round.
And
The
I actually
strikes,
like it. It's a
obviously-
takedown and finish parlay. It's literally a two picks are takedowns and two picks are finishes. It's kind of poetic, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll get our justice when we cash it to the bank.
All right, look, this is something I actually would love to start doing on the channel, folks. Lethal Sugar, thank you for facilitating the first time of this happening. And if it's you for the next 6 times, bro, spend my money. I'm happy with it, bro. We are here, and we are happy to spend money with our fans and friends. So on the last one, the one that I solely picked, I put a 1/5 of a unit on that, folks. With this one, be a little bit more bullish. We're going to go ahead and just put a whole unit down on it, folks. It's a 4.09 multiplier on this. But before I lock it in, again, I want to give the fans full say-so in this. So Underdogs does this really cool thing where they allow you to either do a standard pick bet where all 4 of your legs have to hit, or you can do a flex pick bet, which means you still win money if only a large percentage of your bets hit. So in this case, 3 out of 4 would have to hit. So we can either cash in at 4.09x multipliers, right? So 1 unit to win 4.09, or we can take the healthier pick here, less risk, less volatility, and we can say, hey, if 3 out of 4 of our pits, if 4 out of 4 hit, we get 2.45 times our money back. And if 3 hit, we almost make back what we spent. Now, look, I'll be honest. I trust Lethal Sugar here. And I trust the Jive Turkey Man, Nano himself. I'm saying that we lean towards standard on this. I'm a big fan in the flex bets. At the same time, I'm liking this. I'm thinking we're going to go standard. Lethal, let me know if I'm crazy. And Ramblin' Dad, my friend, my fellow, I hope you have a fantastic time at work. Get some work done. And after that, enjoy a hard-earned beverage of choice, my friend. Hope you have the best day at work and the best evening after, my friend. Thanks for joining in. Let's go. Lethal Sugar gave us the sign-off, so we're doing it. We're hitting 1 full unit on this one to win 4.09x back on that. So again, Jasmine is the pick here. The first pick to start it off. You already know the myth, the legend herself. Jasmine. Over 2 takedowns. Sergey Pavlovich to get a knockout. Terrence McKinney to get a finish as well. And then, of course, Saeed Nurmagomedov to get at least 2 takedowns. Folks, that's the bet. That's the picks. That's the plays. And we appreciate you being here in the place. If you're new here, if you're old here, you know the drill by now, I hope. Like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell for notifications. That way you know when we're going live next time, folks. And the only thing that we truly ask you to do each and every single show other than that is this. Keep on going and keep on growing, folks. We'll see you next.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.